There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
How's it going? It's the Zeus Insights call. And, this week we're just going to be going over, what to expect in the markets and some updates for Zeus. So going right into it on the weekly insights, I want to give you guys a forecast of basically what the temperament in the market would be like. And with that, you can have an idea of where you want to get into the markets, how you want to trade. And then from there, you'll be able to execute on it. So just to recap on some of the moves that we did on the last session, we talked about this New Zealand move here, where you had the higher high be created. It made the dip down into here. You had your trade. What we teach is get into the middle of that zone. Your stop loss is below the 88. That's 20 pip stop loss. If it took the trade, you would have been maybe 35 to maybe 40 pips in profit. Say you took that trade. That wasn't our best trade. It's just the first one that came up. We had a few other trades that happened. A lot of them with the New Zealand pairs, because that's what was setting up based off of what we saw in the markets. So here's the other pair we went through, was the Euro New Zealand. We called this out. This is one of our called trades. And with that, you would have caught, it had a 120 pip move. We talked about having TP1 at the 0 line. So TP1 was hit. You had a 45 pip stop loss and a 100 pip trade. You were a 2-to-1 trade. So very solid on that trade. The reason we looked at this trade, like I said, you had our higher high was created there, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then you had a lower high. When we saw that wick, that was you see this wick right here? That was our go ahead to get into the markets. We had one more that we had called out, and it was this New Zealand Swiss franc. I said, watch out for it to get into this 88.3 to 86 zone. I was looking for the deep retracement on this one. It did that. If you would have took it at that zone, that would have been about a 45 pip trade there. So very good trades in the market, and just following our rules for trading. That's all we're doing. So let's go do our analysis of gold. Unless I deleted it. All right, let me add gold real quick. I think I had accidentally deleted it while I was trading. Forex. Here we go. So this is what we had called out on Sunday. We talked about this triangle here, this triangle forming, and you wanted that breakout of the triangle. You got it there. And then you got the pullback, just like we had talked about. This wick, you see wicks like that, rejecting the area where you want to trade. That is where you want to trade from. Those are your go-aheads. So you see that wick, say you took your trade somewhere in there, and you have a 180 pip move, or depending on your broker, 1700 pip move. So these setups work, and they work at a high level. Then on top of that, we can go into Zeus and look at our setups from that standpoint. So if I go back to Sunday, look for that wick. Right in here, that was probably the wick. Let me go to the 15 minutes so I can see it. Yeah, that was our wick. The 15-minute gave us this entry here on Zeus. So you had, that was 80 pips from there. But this was the middle of the day yesterday. Let me go to the 5-minute. That's where I like to take most of my Zeus entries. So as I go down to the 5-minute, more entries line up. So you had this trade here. You had this trade here. That was 86 pips. And then you had all these subsequent trades that neither one of them went past 12 pips of drawdown, and you would have had your win there. That's how you trade with Zeus. You find where you are in the markets, and then once you understand where you are in the markets, you open up Zeus for your entries. That's all it is. So when it comes to that, all you want to do is follow the trend. Follow the trend. Follow the arrows. Only other thing you can do to maybe filter it more is use the TDI strategy. What's the TDI strategy? You want the colors to match. So meaning you have reds, red for sales, green for buys. And you want the yellow line to go down, be going down for sales or up for buys. So if I see here, and the way I look at that is I take the line where the entry was, and then just go 2 lines back. And if it's on a sell and the second line, like 2 bars back, is lower, then that means that the dynamic is going up, the dynamic index, meaning that you may not get as clean of an entry. But when you wait for it to start going down like it's doing over here, you have a bunch of clean entries. So, and then it started going back down here. So you got these 2 arrows, more clean entries. Not that these entries didn't work, but see, there was consolidation going into that entry and going after that entry. So you want to be able to filter out where you want to get into your trades. That way you're trading with the best possible scenarios in the market. That's all you're doing. And you really hone in on where you are in the market. You can go down to the 1-minute. The 1-minute is going to give you more entries. But you know how to justify. You know where to get in, why you're getting into the market. So let me go back, because this is Asian session noise. So 1 minute on Asian session does not look good ever in the beginning. So going back, we're just following details. Even though you got your counter trend moves here, but the trend was down. So looking at the market had this move, that move. They were both winners. See how the TDI is going up? So this move is inconsistent. He had a bunch of choppiness going in the wrong direction. This move is okay. This is after it came up with green. But this was your better move here. Very little drawdown. You get your 40 pips. You're on the 1 minute. Remember, you're getting 40 pips on the 1 minute. That's a great trade. Against session. That would have been your only legitimate loss is this arrow here. This is against, not session, trend. And then you resume your trend. So there. This TDI is going up, so I'm passing on those arrows. Starts to go back down. And you get more entries. I go back. If you're just following the zone, you're going to get the entries that you want. Especially if you have it to where it just left the green, like the green, and it just turned red and then the entry comes. Those are your best entries. And you got the TDI following it. So that's all you're doing. That's all you're doing with Zeus. So going into news, so Thursday, remember Thursday we talked about being a heavy United States day for the United States dollar pair, so including gold and silver. There's going to be a lot of movement. You got GDP and unemployment. Friday's not really a high news day. This is one of the Fridays I really like trading because you usually have a plethora of news on Fridays. This Friday you don't. So most of your USD dollar moves going to happen tomorrow morning to coincide with the news events. So that's what you want to watch out for. If you're trading Zeus, obviously a lot of the pairs that you trade, US dollar base, just expect more momentum, more volatility. Follow the rules, you'll be fine. Now, as far as updates, we're going to be making a update to Zeus pretty soon, probably in 1 or 2 weeks. That update is going to help with the lag. There's been a lag to where you can only open up 3 to 5 charts. And we have found out a way to fix that. So now we're just ironing out the last few details. And then you're going to be seeing that push pretty soon. So definitely look out for that. And just make sure there's no questions. All right, so we don't have any questions. So Thursday's going to be a great day in trading. We'll have our New York session. And I just quickly get into the markets, quickly understand where we're going, and then that's going to be it. So you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you at the next video.
There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading Forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.